The massive Imperial survey ship drifted silently through the darkness of space, its sensors scanning the unexplored sector ahead. Captain Robert Wilson stood on the bridge of the Star Seeker Asterisk, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of holographic displays. After serving the Galactic Empire for 20 years, he thought he had seen everything the universe had to offer. He was wrong. "Captain, we've detected a solar system with unusual readings," reported Jack, his chief science officer. "9 planets, but the third one, it's different." Wilson moved closer to the main display, his eyes narrowing as data streamed across the screen. The Empire had conquered over 10,000 worlds in its relentless expansion, but something about this system made his skin crawl. "Life signs?" he asked, already knowing the answer. "Billions, sir. And they're not primitive. We're detecting artificial satellites, space stations, and—" Jack's voice trailed off, his face showing confusion. "Sir, these energy readings don't make any sense." Wilson was about to request clarification when red warning lights flooded the bridge. Their stealth probes, the most advanced reconnaissance devices in the Empire's arsenal, were disappearing one by one. "Impossible," Jack exclaimed, his fingers dancing across the control panel. "They're being targeted with perfect precision, but our stealth technology, nobody can detect our probes." The main screen flickered, and a message appeared. Simple text in the Empire's own language. "This is Earth Defense Command. Your probes have been neutralized. This solar system is closed to external entities. No entry permitted. This is your only warning." Wilson felt a chill run down his spine. In the Empire's long history of expansion, no civilization had ever detected their stealth probes, let alone destroyed them. And none had ever dared to issue demands to the Empire. He opened a secure channel to Imperial High Command. Within minutes, the holographic image of Grand Admiral Peters materialized on the bridge. His expression was one of amusement rather than concern. "A primitive world dares to challenge us." Peters laughed, his voice dripping with contempt. "Send in more probes. Full spectrum analysis. I want to know everything about this Earth before we show them their place." Wilson hesitated. "Sir, with respect, they detected and destroyed our best stealth technology in seconds. Perhaps we should." "Are you questioning Imperial protocol, Captain?" Peters interrupted, his smile vanishing. "Execute your orders." The transmission ended abruptly. Wilson looked at his crew, seeing his own uncertainty reflected in their faces. Following orders, they launched a new wave of probes, these ones equipped with even more advanced stealth systems. They didn't last 5 seconds. This time, the message from Earth was accompanied by something else. A demonstration. A small pulse of energy emerged from the third planet, invisible to standard sensors. When it reached their position, every system on the Star Seeker Asterisk temporarily froze. Just for a moment, but long enough to make its point. Final warning. This system is closed. Violation of this notice will be met with decisive action. We have no interest in your empire or its politics. Leave us in peace or face the consequences. The bridge was silent. Wilson stared at the message, understanding its implications. This wasn't just a challenge to the Empire's authority. It was a complete dismissal of it. These humans, whoever they were, didn't view the Empire as a threat to be feared or an enemy to be fought. They saw it as an annoyance to be warned off. "Send all data to High Command," Wilson ordered, his voice quiet. "And plot a course out of this system. Whatever happens next, I want it on record that we witnessed something unprecedented today." As the Star Seeker turned away from the mysterious solar system, Wilson couldn't shake the feeling that the Empire had just made a serious mistake. They had spent centuries conquering worlds that couldn't resist them, but now they had found something different. A civilization that had developed in isolation, following its own path. And for the first time in Imperial history, they had been told, simply and clearly, Admiral James Walker stood in Earth's main defense center, his eyes fixed on the massive display showing the approaching Imperial fleet. 30 years of serving in Earth Defense Command hadn't prepared him for this moment. The Empire had ignored their warnings, just as expected. They're bringing 12 battleships, 20 cruisers, and numerous smaller vessels, reported Mary from her station. Her fingers moved quickly across the holographic controls, highlighting each enemy ship in red. They're trying to mask their weapons behind diplomatic signatures. Walker smiled slightly. The Empire thought they were being clever, hiding their true intentions behind a facade of peaceful contact. They had no idea that Earth's quantum detection grid could see through any disguise. "Status of the defense network?" he asked, his voice calm despite the tension in the room. Tom, the chief defense officer, pulled up another display. "All systems green, sir. Shield generators are primed. Gravity wells are charged. Dark matter cannons standing by." He paused, then added, "They won't know what hit them." The Empire's fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Right on schedule, a transmission came through on all frequencies. "Attention, Earth," a smooth voice announced. "This is Ambassador Richard Stone of the Galactic Empire. We come in peace, seeking diplomatic relations with your world." Walker noted how well the speaker hid his Imperial accent. They had even chosen someone with an Earth name. Clever, but not clever enough. "Imperial Fleet," Walker responded. "Your weapons are armed and your shields are raised. This is not a diplomatic mission. You were warned. Turn back now." There was a long pause before Stone replied, his friendly tone dropping slightly. "I assure you, we mean no harm. Perhaps a small delegation cold." "You have 5 minutes to reverse course," Walker interrupted. "After that, we will demonstrate why this system is closed to the Empire." The command center fell silent as they watched the Imperial ships. They didn't move. Instead, they began spreading out into an attack formation. 4 minutes, Mary announced. Walker used the time to study the enemy fleet. The Empire relied on overwhelming force and superior numbers. They had never needed to innovate, to think differently. That was their weakness. 2 minutes. Stone's voice came through again, all pretense gone. "This is your last chance to submit peacefully to Imperial authority. Resistance will be met with appropriate force." 1 minute. Walker pressed a button on his command console. "Attention, Imperial Fleet. Since you chose not to listen, let me explain something. Earth didn't isolate itself out of fear. We isolated ourselves because we chose a different path. You're about to learn why." 30 seconds. The Imperial ships launched their first wave of fighters. They expected to overwhelm Earth's defenses with speed and numbers. Standard Imperial tactics. "Time's up," Walker said quietly. "Activate the defense grid." The quantum shield shimmed into existence around Earth, barely visible as a slight distortion in space. The Empire's first volley of weapons fire splashed harmlessly against it, dissipating into nothing. "Now," Walker ordered, "show them what we can do." Earth's gravity weapons activated. Invisible beams reached out, creating localized distortions in spacetime. Imperial fighters suddenly found themselves pulled in multiple directions at once, their hulls crumpling under forces they couldn't understand. "Sir," Mary called out, "they're launching their main attack." The Imperial battleships opened fire with their heaviest weapons, expecting to overwhelm Earth's shields through brute force. Instead, their energy beams bent away from the planet, caught in the quantum field's distortion effect. "Dark matter cannons," Walker commanded. "Target their lead ship. Minimal power." A beam of pure darkness shot out from one of Earth's orbital platforms. Where it hit the Imperial battleship, matter simply ceased to exist. A perfect circular hole appeared in the vessel's hull, cutting through their strongest shields as if they weren't there. The Imperial fleet froze. For several seconds, nothing moved. "Another demonstration?" Tom asked, his hand hovering over the weapon's control. Walker shook his head. They need time to process what they just saw. Their entire understanding of physics just got turned upside down. Sure enough, the Imperial ships began to retreat, their formation broken. As they fled, Walker knew this was just the beginning. The Empire wouldn't give up easily. But today, they had learned something important. Earth wasn't just another world to conquer. It was something entirely new. Commander Marcus Reed watched Earth from the bridge of his Imperial flagship, the Dominion *. Unlike the other Imperial officers, he knew exactly what they were facing. He had been born on Earth, recruited by the Empire 20 years ago. Now he was their secret weapon. All ships in position, reported his second-in-command, Bill. The new shield modifications are ready. Earth's weapons won't work twice. Reed nodded, hiding his doubt. The Empire had spent 3 months studying the data from their first defeat. They thought they understood Earth's technology now. They were wrong. Launch the attack, Reed ordered. All ships, execute Pattern Delta. 100 Imperial ships moved forward, their formation designed to counter Earth's gravity weapons. This time, they had brought their entire regional fleet. The Empire didn't believe in subtle responses. Inside Earth's defense center, Admiral Walker frowned at the displays. They've adapted their shields, he noted. And that fleet commander, they're using Earth tactics. Sir, Mary called out, we're detecting unusual energy readings. Their weapons are different. The Imperial fleet opened fire. This time, their weapons were modified to match Earth's shield frequency. The quantum barrier flickered as the attacks hit. Clever, Walker admitted. They learned from last time. Activate secondary defenses. Earth's orbital platforms came to life, releasing thousands of small drones. The Empire expected another gravity attack. Instead, the drones created a web of quantum-linked energy, strengthening the planet's shields. Reed watched the defense unfold, memories of his Earth training surfacing. Target those drones, he commanded. They're the key. Imperial ships fired precision beams, destroying several drones. But for each one destroyed, 2 more took its place. The quantum web grew stronger. Impossible, Bill muttered. Our sensors show their power output is minimal. How are they doing this? Reed knew the answer but kept quiet. Earth didn't rely on brute force. Their technology worked with natural laws, not against them. The Empire would never understand. Walker noticed the targeted attacks on the drones. They have someone who knows our systems, he realized. Interesting. Activate the resonance protocol. The quantum web suddenly pulsed. Every Imperial ship's shield frequency was matched and then inverted. Their own defensive energy turned against them. Reed felt his ship shudder. Evasive action, he shouted. They're using our shields against us. But it was too late. Imperial ships started losing power as their shield generators overloaded. The massive fleet, pride of the Empire, was being defeated by their own technology. Sir, Bill pointed at the main screen. Earth is launching something. A single projectile rose from the planet's surface. It looked small, almost harmless. Reed's eyes widened as he recognized it. All ships, retreat. Full power to engines. The projectile detonated in the middle of the Imperial fleet. There was no explosion. Instead, a sphere of absolute darkness expanded outward. Ships caught in its edge simply vanished, erased from existence. Dark matter cascade, Reed whispered. They've weaponized a quantum singularity. Walker watched the Imperial fleet scatter. Most escaped the dark matter field, but their formation was broken. More importantly, their confidence was shattered. Sir, Mary reported, one ship is staying behind. They're transmitting a message. Reed's voice came through the comm system. Hello, Earth. It's been a long time. Walker straightened. A lost son returns. Why now, Marcus? To warn you. The Empire won't stop. They can't comprehend a power that rivals theirs. They'll keep coming until they either win or are destroyed. Then they'll fail every time, Walker replied simply. We chose isolation for a reason. Earth's path is our own. Reed's ship turned away from Earth. They'll be back, with everything they have. We know, Walker said. That's what the Empire always does. But they still don't understand. Earth doesn't need to conquer. We don't need to expand. We simply need to be left alone. As Reed's ship disappeared into faster-than-light travel, Walker looked at the scattered debris of the Imperial fleet. The Empire had learned another lesson today, but would they understand it? Earth's strength wasn't in its weapons or shields. It was in choosing a different way. The United Earth Council chamber was packed. Representatives from every nation sat in the circular room, their faces illuminated by soft blue light. On the main screen, a recording of the recent battle with the Empire played silently. Director Anna Thompson stood at the center podium. After 30 years of keeping Earth's greatest secret, it was time to tell the public everything. The time has come, she announced, her voice carrying across the silent chamber. We can no longer hide the truth from our citizens. The Empire will keep coming, and our people deserve to know why we chose isolation. The main screen changed, showing images from 200 years ago. Old satellites, early warning systems, and the first detection of Imperial ships. Earth has known about the Galactic Empire for centuries, Anna continued. While they expanded through conquest, we made a different choice. We watched, we learned, and we prepared. The screen showed the first Imperial conquest they had witnessed, a peaceful world, destroyed because it refused to submit. Then another, and another. The Empire believes that technology must follow their path. Bigger ships, stronger weapons, more destruction. Anna pressed a button, showing Earth's development over the same period. We chose differently. We looked to the quantum realm, to the very fabric of space and time. Tom Anderson, Earth's chief scientist, stepped forward. The Empire thinks technology must be built on power. We discovered it could be built on understanding. They try to break natural laws. We learned to work with them. The screen displayed Earth's quantum shield network, the gravity manipulation systems, and the dark matter technology that had shocked the Empire. Our isolation wasn't about fear, Tom explained. It was about development. The Empire's path of conquest limited their innovation. Why create something new when you can steal it? Why understand the universe when you can simply dominate it? Images appeared of Earth's research centers, hidden beneath mountains and oceans, places where scientists had worked for generations, developing technologies the Empire thought impossible. But there's more, Anna said, her voice growing serious. We discovered something the Empire never even thought to look for. The screen showed brain wave patterns, quantum consciousness readings, and training facilities where people learned to connect with the quantum field itself. Humanity didn't just advance technologically, she explained. We evolved. Our understanding of quantum mechanics led to the discovery of human consciousness's connection to the quantum realm. What the Empire would call magic, we know is simply science they never bothered to understand. Murmurs filled the chamber. Even many council members hadn't known the full extent of Earth's advancement. That's why we can detect their stealth ships, Tom added. Why we can predict their attacks. Our technology isn't just machines. It's a bridge between mind and matter, thought and reality. Anna raised her hand, and the lights in the chamber dimmed slightly. Not through any switch or control, but through her direct interaction with the quantum field. This is why the Empire is so desperate to conquer us, she said. Their stolen technologies are failing. Their conquered worlds are rebelling. They see Earth as their salvation, but they don't understand that our power can't be taken. It must be learned, earned, understood. The chamber was silent as the implications sank in. Earth hadn't just developed better weapons or stronger shields. They had found a completely different path of advancement. Our citizens need to know this, Anna concluded, not because we fear the Empire, but because they need to understand why we choose to stand apart. Earth isn't hiding. We're growing, developing, evolving. And when the Empire comes again, and they will come, we want every person on Earth to understand what we're protecting." The council members nodded in agreement. The time for secrets was over. Earth's path had led them to something beyond the Empire's understanding of power. As the chamber began to clear, Anna looked at the final image on the screen. Earth, surrounded by its quantum shield, glowing with an inner light that represented not just technology, but humanity's potential. The Empire thought they were facing superior weapons. In reality, they were facing a civilization that had transcended their understanding of what was possible. And that was why Earth would remain close to them. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. The night was quiet in New London's research district. Too quiet, thought Security Chief Paul Cooper as he walked through the empty halls of the Quantum Research Center. His enhanced senses, developed through years of quantum consciousness training, told him something was wrong. "West Sector clear," reported a voice in his ear. No signs off. The transmission cut off abruptly. Paul closed his eyes, letting his mind expand into the quantum field. There, he could feel them. Imperial infiltrators, their minds closed off by technology, moving through the building like shadows. "They're here," he transmitted to Earth Defense Command. "Marcus Reed is leading them." Inside the facility's main lab, Reed and his team of Imperial Special Forces worked quickly. Their stealth suits, the most advanced in the Empire, should have made them invisible to all detection. "The data core should be behind this door," Reed whispered. "Remember, we need the quantum consciousness research. The Empire believes it's the key to Earth's power." The door slid open silently. The lab was dark, seemingly empty. Reed's team moved forward, their sensors scanning for traps. "Too easy," one agent muttered. Reed agreed. He knew Earth's defenses. This wasn't right. Suddenly, the lights came on. Paul stood in the center of the lab, alone and unarmed. "Welcome home, Marcus," he said calmly. Imperial weapons aimed at him instantly. Reed held up his hand, stopping his team from firing. "Paul, you understand why we're here. The Empire needs this technology." "No," Paul replied. "The Empire wants this technology." "There's a difference." He took a step forward, completely unconcerned by the weapons. "And you still don't understand what you're really looking for." Reed felt a strange sensation, like something brushing against his mind. Around him, his team members began lowering their weapons, confusion on their faces. "What are you doing to them?" Reed demanded. Paul smiled slightly. "Nothing. They're just feeling what you're feeling. The quantum field. Your stealth suits block electronic detection, but they can't hide your consciousness from the field itself." More security officers appeared, stepping out of seemingly solid walls. Reed realized they had been there all along, their minds so in tune with the quantum field that they could partially phase through matter. "Impossible," one of his agents whispered. "That's your Empire's favorite word," Paul said. "You call things impossible because you don't understand them. You think our power comes from our technology." He gestured around the lab. "This facility, it's not for developing weapons or shields. It's for teaching." Reed watched as his team members were disarmed effortlessly, their movements slowed by some unseen force. Teaching what? How to expand human consciousness, how to connect with the quantum field that underlies reality. Paul walked to a simple desk and pressed a button. A holographic display appeared, showing human DNA strands. "Your Empire thinks we developed better technology. The truth is, we evolved beyond the need for most of it." The display showed how human consciousness could directly interact with quantum particles, influencing reality at its most basic level. "That's why you can't steal our power," Paul explained. "It's not in our machines. It's in us. 200 years of guided human evolution, of learning to expand our minds beyond what your Empire thinks possible." Reed felt the last of his resistance crumble. He could feel the truth of Paul's words in the very air around him. "The Empire won't accept this," he said quietly. "We know." Paul nodded to his officers, who began leading the Imperial agents away. But that's why Earth remains closed. Not to hide our technology, but to protect our path. As Reed was led away, he looked back at Paul. What will you do with us? Show you the truth. Let you feel what we've become. Then send you back. Paul smiled. After all, the Empire needs to understand why they keep failing. The facility returned to its quiet state, but now Reed understood. The silence wasn't empty. It was filled with the invisible threads of quantum consciousness, a power the Empire could never steal because they didn't understand the most basic truth. True power doesn't come from conquest. It comes from evolution. Dr. John Miller stood in Earth's central data analysis chamber, his eyes fixed on the streams of information flowing across the massive screens. The captured Imperial databases had finally revealed something shocking, the real reason behind the Empire's desperate attacks. Admiral Walker needs to see this immediately, he told his assistant, Lisa. The Empire isn't just being aggressive. They're desperate. Within an hour, the Emergency Council had gathered. Admiral Walker, Director Thompson, and other key leaders sat around the circular table as Dr. Miller presented his findings. The Empire is dying, he began, displaying graphs and data streams. Their entire civilization is facing collapse, and they don't even fully understand why. The main screen showed thousands of Imperial worlds, their energy systems failing one by one. They've been harvesting worlds for centuries, extracting a rare energy source they call deep core plasma. It's what powers their entire civilization. And they're running out, Walker concluded, studying the data. Worse, Miller brought up new images. The extraction process is destabilizing entire planets. Worlds they harvested centuries ago are starting to break down at the quantum level. The Empire's power source is literally destroying reality in those systems. Director Thompson leaned forward. That's why they want our technology so badly. They think we found a different power source. We have, Miller confirmed, but not in the way they imagine. He displayed Earth's quantum grid system. Our understanding of quantum gravity manipulation doesn't just power our defenses. It could solve their energy crisis without destroying a single world. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Earth had accidentally discovered what the Empire desperately needed. Show them what we found in Marcus Ree's memories, Miller continued. The screen changed to show Imperial worlds. Once beautiful planets were now cracking apart from the inside, their cores destabilized by centuries of deep core plasma extraction. The Empire's leaders are hiding the truth from their own people, Miller explained. Worlds are dying. Entire systems are becoming uninhabitable. They have maybe 20 years before total collapse. Walker stood up, walking to the main display. So we have a choice. We can watch the Empire destroy itself, taking billions of innocent lives with it. Or we can help them, Thompson finished. But can we trust them with this technology? Our quantum gravity systems could be weaponized if misused. Miller brought up another display, this one showing Earth's quantum consciousness research. That's just it. They can't use our technology without understanding it. And they can't understand it without changing their entire way of thinking. The screen showed how Earth's power systems worked in harmony with natural laws, guided by quantum-conscious operators who could sense and adjust the energy flows directly. Their entire civilization is built on taking what they want by force, Miller said. Our technology requires working with the universe, not against it. They would need to completely transform their society to use it. And that's exactly why they keep failing to steal it, Walker realized. Their spies can take our plans, our designs, but without the consciousness development, without understanding the fundamental principles. It's like giving advanced mathematics to someone who hasn't learned to count, Thompson added. The information is useless without the foundation. Miller nodded. We could offer them salvation, but they would have to accept our terms, learn our ways, evolve as we have. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Some argued for letting the Empire fall, a just punishment for centuries of conquest. Others pushed for immediate aid to save billions of innocent lives. Walker raised his hand for silence. We all know what's coming. The Empire will launch one final massive attack. They're desperate enough to risk everything now. And when they do, Thompson asked. We show them both possibilities, Walker decided. What happens if they continue their path of destruction? And what could happen if they choose to learn, to change, to grow? Miller looked at the display showing the dying Imperial worlds. They'll have to abandon everything they believe about power and control. Yes, Walker agreed. And that will be the hardest part for them. The Empire must learn what Earth discovered centuries ago. True power comes from understanding, not conquest. As the Council continued their discussion, the fate of billions hung in the balance. Earth had the power to save the Empire, but only if the Empire was willing to save itself first. The real test was about to begin. The Imperial Armada filled the space around Jupiter, the largest fleet ever assembled in the Empire's history. 5,000 ships, carrying the hopes and desperation of 10,000 worlds. Grand Admiral Peters stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Imperial Will *. All ships report ready, his officer announced. The entire Empire watches today. Then let them watch us claim our salvation, Peters replied. He had no idea he was playing directly into Earth's plans. On Earth, Admiral Walker and his team made their final preparations. The quantum shield glowed softly around the planet, stronger than ever. They'd brought everything, just as we expected, Walker noted. Are we ready? Director Thompson nodded. The quantum lock is prepared. Dr. Miller's team is standing by. The Imperial fleet moved forward. No pretense of diplomacy this time. No subtle tactics. Just raw, desperate power. This is Grand Admiral Peters of the Galactic Empire. His voice boomed across all frequencies. Surrender your technology, or we will take it by force. This is your final warning. Walker smiled slightly. Send the response. Let's show them what they're really fighting for. Every screen in the Imperial fleet suddenly activated, showing the truth they had hidden from their own people. Dying worlds, collapsing systems, the inevitable end of their civilization. Imperial fleet, Walker's voice was calm. You're not here for conquest. You're here for survival. Let us show you another way. Before Peters could respond, Earth's quantum field expanded. Not as a weapon, but as a demonstration. Around the Earth, reality itself seemed to sing with clean, unlimited energy. What you see is the power of understanding, not conquest, Walker continued. Your worlds are dying because you tried to take power by force. We learned to work with the universe itself. Peters watched in awe as the energy readings from Earth's system exceeded anything the Empire had ever seen. Impossible, he whispered. How? The same way everything is possible, Walker replied. Through understanding, through growth, through choosing to work with natural laws instead of breaking them. The quantum field expanded further, touching the Imperial ships, not hurting them, but letting them feel the difference. Clean energy, sustainable power, a future without destruction. You have two choices, Walker announced. Continue your attack and face our ultimate defense. The quantum lock will seal Earth away forever, beyond your reach. You'll return to your dying worlds, and your empire will collapse. Peters gripped his command chair. Or, accept our help, not as conquerors, but as students. Learn what we learned. Grow as we grew. Transform your empire from one of taking to one of understanding. The Imperial fleet hung in space, weapons ready but unfired. Peters looked at the data showing his dying empire, then at the clean energy flowing around Earth. Why would you help us? He demanded. After everything we've done. Because that's the difference between us, Walker replied. You see power as something to take. We see it as something to share, but only with those ready to understand it. Suddenly, Marcus Reed's voice joined the transmission. It's true, Admiral. I've seen it. Felt it. What Earth offers is more than technology. It's evolution, growth, a new way of existing. Peter stood silent for a long moment. Centuries of imperial tradition demanded attack, but the evidence of his empire's approaching doom couldn't be denied. "What are your terms?" he finally asked. "First, the Empire renounces all claims to Earth and recognizes our independence," Walker stated. "Second, you send your best minds to learn, not to copy, but to understand. Third, as each world proves ready, we help them transform their power systems. And if we refuse..." The quantum lock activated partially, just for a second. The Imperial fleet found themselves unable to move, locked in space-time itself. "Then we close our door forever," Walker said simply. "And you face your end alone." The choice was made, not through battle, but through understanding. The Imperial fleet stood down. The Empire, for the first time in its history, chose to learn rather than take. As the first Imperial scientists arrived on Earth, ready to begin their education, Walker looked out at the stars. Earth had done more than defend itself. It had changed the course of galactic history, not through war, not through force, but through the simple, powerful choice to take a different path. The door to Earth remained closed to conquerors, but open to students, and that made all the difference.